Hello everybody, welcome to another quick video. Now this morning, got a couple of checks and go have a look at doing some little sort of modification to the heater system. But been driving the van this week and I noticed that maybe a little bit of noise from the passenger front wheel. Got slight suspicion it might be a wheel bearing on the way, so I'm going to have a check, see if I can find anything. So come have a look and see how we do it. So the first thing we've got to do, get this jacked up. Now most vans you can't actually jack on the sills. You can see ours has got some damage there when someone's trying to actually jack up on the sill. There's a specific jacking point underneath, so that's what you need to aim for. So it's something to bear in mind if you're jacking up yourself. There we go, that's in line. Now there may be some extra noise around. We are sort of at the roadside, so so that's jacked up. Now if you're going to be working on this for any time, you get an axle stand under there, keep it safe. Don't rely on just this, but because we're just checking the wheel, we're just going to run it up on the jack and that'll be fine. So we've got the wheel jacked up, so runs freely. Got to make sure your handbrake is on tight as well. You don't want anything rolling away when you're jacked up. But literally all we're going to do, just spin the wheel, have a bit of feel, make sure there's no play in anything. And that'll confirm to us whether there's any sort of work that he's doing in there. But yeah, I'll show you how we do that now. Right, so I've just spun that up. I can tell there's a slight bit of noise in there, but I think it's more drivetrain noise than actual wheel bearing noise, so not to worry about it at the minute, but I'll keep an eye on things. So, on to stage 2, if I can get an angle on this. What we're going to do, I'm going to have a look, see if I can actually install this T-piece, which came with the heater, and attach a bit of pipe into the cab area, because on a cold morning, we've had the heater on. If we've got the curtain pulled across, like we normally do, the back of the van gets nice and toasty. But the front of the van stays very cold, and since that's the main glass area, so there's not really a lot of insulation goes on in there, I think it'd be ideal to actually sort of pump the heat into there as well, which also, as an added bonus, will mean on a cold frosty morning, it'll de-ice it for us as well. So I'll show you what I'm thinking. If I just pop the battery access panel down, you'll see the heater panel that we've got, or the heater pipe, and that just goes straight onto the heater itself. Just move that excess bag out of the way. Don't know how well you can actually see down there, but there's quite a bit of room to actually add the T-piece in. What I'm thinking is that T-piece could send the pipe alongside the heater there and into the cab area. Now it doesn't necessarily need to have the end on, just the open pipe blowing into the cab should be enough to actually heat that up. And it should also have the added bonus that because it'll be drawing warm air from the cab, it'll actually increase the efficiency of the heater as well, so we'll be drawing constant cold air. But let's see if I can get down there and see if I can get in and have a play. So you should be able to see that a little bit easier now. That's the outlet from the heater, and there should be enough room there to actually install that little T-piece and then try and sort of guide the vent round. So let's get that pipe off and see what we can do. So the first thing to remember is that is actually the same size as the outlet from the diesel, so you need a little bit of pipe just to buffer that. Now thankfully this pipe is literally sort of convoluted aluminium essentially, so it's fairly easy to cut. So what I'm going to do, just cut a little piece out that I can use as a buffer piece and actually attach that to the heater. Okay, so that's just a little joint attached there. Now if I show you through there, you can just make out that there's a little diverter. So the air will blow down there and it hits that little diverter and come out both sides. So that means I can have one side that comes straight to the van, and one side that can go into the cab. That's the plan anyway. So there we go, that's all nice and tight. The diverter's in place. So what I can do, grab the existing heater line which comes into the van, slip that over there. Still keeps everything well out of the way. So that'll stay on there and still come round into the main part of the van in the back. That means that then should hopefully be able to go underneath the seat and out and into the cab area. And this stuff is incredibly bendy because it's all convoluted tube, it's all sort of compressed together. So if you want to put a radius onto it, you literally just work it a few times and the radius will take. Now that'll be perfect to get that underneath the seat. But if you want any extra range, you can literally just pull and you can make it go a bit longer as well. Really quite good stuff. Now there is an argument that because the way this works, the airflow actually sort of catches on the ridges, it makes it a little bit noisy. But it's not something we've really noticed. To be fair, I think if you're worrying that much about it being that quiet, you're kind of in the wrong game. I mean, yeah, there's a time and a place for super quiet things, and frankly in the back of the van I don't think it's really it. But yeah, let's try and get this lined up now. Okay, so hopefully you can make that out. We've got the T-piece in place and that runs off underneath the seat. Now, rather than actually clamping it at this end and still having this flapping, what I'm going to do is use a couple of cable ties just to lock it onto the seat base there, because that's just stopping any rattles and should hold it fairly securely into place. Now I'll look at actually directing the pipe at the front. So let's get a cable tie around that. So, feed the cable tie down, typically lose it underneath, grab hold of it as best we can, excuse the arm in the way, yeah, bring that up through the other hole in the seat base and then tie it off. Now it doesn't need to be stupidly tight, so if you go too tight you'll crush the pipe, but as long as that's steady, which it is, that'll be absolutely spot on. So there's the pipe just down there. Obviously what I was saying about extending the pipe, we need to do that and bring that forward, so let's just pull that forward now. So literally just grab hold of it and pull it gently. Each time I pull it and gets longer. I'm going to move that wire just slightly over to the side, just so it's not in the way of the heater. The heat at this point won't actually damage the wiring, but it's always better not to have it blowing straight past it. If I can now bring that forward to there, and that, I think with a cable tie around that will actually work quite well. I'm tempted to put the end on it so I can actually direct it more into the van as well, but let's just have a look, see if that'll fit. Right, so that's the vent on. And if I drop a cable tie around that, a bit like we did with the other one, might even go that side of it looking at it. So we've got this handy little piece in the seat that can drop a cable tie through, and this should be enough to hold it in place nice and secure without any rattles. There we go. Because if anyone that knows me knows I can't stand a rattle when I'm driving. Like that now. Nice and tight, holds that in place. I can direct that to where I want to. At the minute, that's going to shoot slightly upwards and into the cab. What we'll do when I actually clip it on properly. So that'll get the air up and in. The side effect that the air intake as well will be drawing in warmer air. So let's give it a test. And that's worked an absolute treat. One thing we did do when we first put the diesel heater in is just put a little cover over the top. I'll show you that now. It's literally just a little piece of hardboard on there. It's just to keep the curtain when it's drawn from sitting directly on the outlet, because that's the hottest part of the heater. After that, once it sort of gets about 15 centimetres into the pipe, it's not too bad at all. But it's just a little bit of protection. So I've just installed that back on. It's over the top of the Tpiece, so that'll work as per normal. But yeah, I think that's a really nice install now. That works really well, and it means, especially as this is my daily driver, it gives me a nice cosy cab in the mornings heading off to work. And if it's icy, it means it'll actually de-ice for me as well, which is really handy. The efficiency of the heater is pretty good. I mean, at current sort of diesel prices, it costs about 20p an hour to run it. It's not a great deal at all. Obviously, if you turn it down, it works even more efficiently. But we've had no trouble at all with the heater. It's been absolutely brilliant. So much so, I've actually bought another one, which may be for a little bit of a side project, but I'll come to that at a later date. But yeah, I think that's worked really nicely, and hopefully it'll give us exactly the results that we want. Like I say, I'm going to keep an eye on that wheel bearing, see if it gets any worse. Like I say, it might be just driveline noise at the minute, can't really tell, but there's no play, there's no excess noise, but just something to keep an eye on. But for now, we'll leave it there. If you like this video, please do give us a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed, please do hit subscribe. Look, I'm not putting out the videos quite as regular at the moment, because obviously we're not going away quite as much, and we're not getting quite as much content because of that. But yeah, there'll be little updates to the van and little bits and bobs that we're doing, so yeah, please do subscribe. But for now, thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon. Take care.